All right, get ready to celebrate its National Comic Book Day.
You know, I'm already celebrating, but Cody is joining us live this morning with his Caravan to show us how superheroes are coming to life on paper. Hey, Cody.
That's right, John. Thank you very much for that introduction. This is for my friend Ben Schwartz, of course, Empire's Comic Vault, my favorite comic book place. You're welcome. I love coming here, not only because they have the greatest comics, but they also have hot sauce and a couple of pugs.
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
Who have you invited with us today?
So we have got 3 creators, and we're going to talk about writing and art. And we have got Oscar Romero on the end, we've got David Andre, and we've got Kyron Silva. And we're going to talk to David first about the writing process and how he gets from point A to B.
Let's do it. Okay, David, I'm coming in. Permission to come aboard. I'm going to sneak by you here, Oscar. Okay, so you just write.
Just write.
Just write. You don't draw.
No talent at all for drawing, no.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have to stick with what I can actually do.
And your talent for writing is?
Medium at best.
Not true at all. Well, tell us the process. You sit down. I mean, is it like writing a screenplay or a novel?
I think probably the closest thing would be a screenplay, because you have to think, once you have your idea and you kind of know what's going to happen, then you have to think, how are you going to pace it out for a 20 or a 22-page book, or sometimes 30-page book, or 100-page graphic novel. So you have to think about how you're going to pace it out, and I work with what we call full script, which means I write page 1, panel 1, this is what happens, this is what the people say, and you just continue until hopefully the comic is finished.
How is the collaborative process with an artist? Like, are you giving them a lot of points, or do you rely on them to have a vision to help you out?
Yeah, really, the artist is what's going to make you look really smart, because they're usually much better at the visuals and adding some like dynamic elements to your story, so it's interesting to look at. So I really try to trust the artist, and it's a collaborative process, and usually the artist is also the co-creator of the comics that I work on, and so I want them to have as much input as possible, and I usually tell them that in the script. I'm like, this is how I see it happening. Please make it better, and then I'll get the credit for that when it's better. So, yeah, if you're smart, you'll trust your artists, because they're usually much, much better at that sort of thing.
How long did it take you to be able to release that control, though?
You know what? It wasn't too hard for me, because, again, I knew they were better than me at that stuff. So, yeah, it was really, honestly, the very first script that I did ever, when I was self-publishing comics and paying an artist out of my pocket to create this art. When I got the first pages back, it was just magic. And that is what really hooks you. You're like, this was in my head, and now it's on this page. And it's even better than I thought it was going to be. So, really, for me, it was that very first time, my very first book, I said, this is magic, and I'm going to let this keep happening.
Fantastic. I love that. How many books have you done? Do you even know at this point?
Well, you know, comics are kind of a long process, so there's probably 6 or 7 books that are being worked on right now that haven't come out or be announced yet. As far as published work, I have 3 published books, pretty much all through Vault Comics, which is the shirt I'm wearing, Resonant, which is like a post-apocalyptic survival story, End After End, which is like a war fantasy, and Denizen, which is in this book, Nightfall Double Feature, which is like a family horror. And so those are the 3 that are out right now. Resonant, I wrote by myself, and the other 2 I have a writing partner, Tim Daniel, that really helps me out.
Very interesting. Thank you very much for telling me about that, because I had no idea how the process worked, quite honestly, with writing. Clearly, I've been working on, 4 novels for 10 years. I know nothing about writing. All right, stick around. We're going to learn more about the process. So we just talked about writing. We're going to talk about art next. How they pull this off is incredible. Back to you guys.
That is really cool to think about it more of like a screenplay than an actual novel. That's interesting stuff. Cody, thank you very much. We'll check back with you.